If you're an English learner, you probably have a pretty good imitation of an American trying to speak your native language. But how good is your American accent in English? Today's video is about a technique that you can use to become more aware of your pronunciation and intonation, how your voice moves up and down in pitch as you speak, and end up with a better American accent. Today I'm going to talk about a technique. I'm not going to tell you exactly which sounds you need to master if you want to have a better American accent. If you want to know more about those, go look around our channel because we've posted lots of videos on that topic. And subscribe and click the bell to make sure you don't miss any new ones. So like I said, you probably already have a fairly good American accent. When you imitate the way an American speaks, it's almost like a game. Maybe you do it to make people laugh, but certainly it's not embarrassing. Then why do you feel so awkward making an effort to have an authentic American accent when you speak English? For one, because you're setting yourself apart from many of your peers. Maybe you feel like you're showing off if you tried too hard to have good pronunciation. Or maybe it's because your classmates or friends don't understand your English if you use the proper pronunciation. Sometimes I try to talk to French people about famous Americans, like Bruce Willis, for example, using my natural American accent, and they just stare at me blankly until I pronounce it the French way. Ah, Bruce Willis, of course. So I'm here to encourage you to bring out that American accent that's hiding within you when you speak English in everyday conversation. One way to improve your accent and your confidence using it is a technique called shadowing. Basically, you play a recording of a native speaker and you repeat everything they say right after they say it, just like a shadow or an echo. Don't just repeat the word. Get into character and try to be them. Think of it like acting. Along these same lines, many great polyglots say they adopt a different personality when they speak a foreign language. Shadowing is a good exercise for beginners because you don't have to worry about coming up with your own thoughts, building sentences, and then pronouncing them correctly. Someone has done the first part for you. But it's also good for intermediate and advanced learners who might need some help overcoming shyness and becoming more confident speakers. If you're ready to try it out, here's how you can get started shadowing and improving your American accent. First, find a role model who will provide your shadowing material. I recommend that beginners and intermediate learners start with the longer phrases in our app. That way, you can kill two birds with one stone and learn new words and expressions as you work on your pronunciation. Every flashcard has an audio clip by a native speaker, and you can even record yourself repeating the phrases right in the app. Once you've mastered the most common phrases, you can pick anyone whose accent you particularly like. They could be a TV news anchor, a YouTube star, a comedian, a character in a TV show, or a radio DJ, for example. There's no one correct American accent, but try to stick to one or two people so that you end up with a consistent accent. Basically, you don't want to have a southern twang for some words and a thick Boston accent for others. And of course, if you're shooting for an American accent, don't shadow a Brit. Luca demonstrated the shadowing technique for our Moza Speak English learners. Let's listen to his attempt at Russell Crowe's accent in the movie Gladiator.
I think you've been afraid all your life.
I think you have been afraid all your life. I think you have been afraid all your life.
Another tip, pick someone who talks about things that you're interested in or who uses vocabulary that will be useful to you. If you don't think you'll have any use for vocabulary about the outdoors or animals, maybe don't pick someone who hosts a podcast about fishing. Just a thought. Also, choose someone who produces new content on a regular basis so that you can get exposure to as much variation as possible. Our voices change depending on whether we're happy, angry, excited, or anxious, depending on what topic we're talking about, and even whether we're interacting with another person or speaking directly to a camera. Time to get to work. Play the video or audio and repeat after the speaker, trying to stay as close to their rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation as possible. There are a few things to focus on while you do this exercise. The first time you do this exercise, do it blind, meaning that you're only focused on repeating what you hear. The second or third time, you can follow along with a transcript transcript or captions if you want, so that you begin to associate the spoken words with their written equivalents. Don't overdo it. It's better to shadow for short sessions and repeat a segment 2, 3, 4 times to really get familiar with the sounds in it than to try and shadow an entire hour-long monologue. Say it loud and clear. Don't be ashamed. Lean in and assume your role. Whispering or muttering won't do you much good. That said, if you get lost, it's okay to hum your way through some parts. Even if you're not saying actual words, it can still be very beneficial because it makes you extra aware of the intonation and musicality of the language. Once you're confident and know the content a little bit better, try to keep up with the speaker's speed. Don't give up if you stumble over a few words. After all, it's just an exercise and it's meant to be fun. Those are my tips for effective shadowing, so now you should be ready to try it out. You can really have fun with this activity. Hey, it's not every day that you get the chance to become an actor, so look on the bright side and turn shadowing into a relaxing and entertaining way to practice language. For more info on shadowing and other techniques to improve your pronunciation, check out the Speak English with Confidence Masterclass. See you next time! If you learned something new from this video, give it a thumbs up. Then, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Have a look around our channel for more hacks and tips. And if you're watching on another social media platform, like or follow our page. See you next time.